Holy smokes! Move! 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 Get the camera down! She is turning right toward us.
Look at the displacement of that water. Hold on to something. That tail is gonna hit us like a freight train. Cut the feed! Cut the feed! Okay, that was way too close. My heart is pounding right out of my chest, folks.
You simply cannot appreciate the sheer power of these animals until you are in the water with them. Welcome back to another adventure.
What you just saw, that shadow that blocked out the sun and nearly turned our submersible into scrap metal.
It was something far older, far stranger, and potentially much, much bigger.
Metals. For decades, we have been told that the blue whale is the absolute limit of biology, the heavyweight champion of Earth's history.
We thought nothing could ever surpass it. We were wrong.
Welcome to Prehistoric Planet 3D. I am your guide on this time-traveling safari, and today we are rewriting the record books. We are not just looking at dusty bones in a glass case. We are using state-of-the-art technology to bring the giant...
The creature we are hunting today is a ghost that has haunted paleontologists for years.
It is a titan from the Triassic Period, a time when dinosaurs were just starting to take over the land, but in the ocean, true monsters ruled.
Imagine a dolphin, but stretch it out to the length of 2 school buses parked bumper to bumper.
This isn't just another big fish story. The discovery of this animal has shaken the scientific community to its core.
Today, we are going to dive deep into the murky waters of 202 million years ago.
To answer the ultimate question, is the Ichthyotitan truly the largest animal to ever exist on Earth?
To truly understand the magnitude of this beast, we have to pull ourselves out of the water for a moment.
And the world is quiet, but on the rocky shores of Blue Anchor,
History is about to be made.
this isn't a story about a team of high-tech scientists.
This is the beauty of paleontology. Sometimes the biggest discoveries are made by regular folks who just keep their eyes open.
She called her dad over, and they started digging. They didn't know it yet, but they were holding the keys to a biological...
What they found wasn't a T-Rex leg or a mammoth tusk. It was a section of a jawbone, specifically the cerangular.
Now, in most animals, a jawbone is something you can hold in one hand. But this thing was different.
As they pieced the fragments together, the scale of the discovery started to hit them like a ton of bricks.
The bone segments, when combined, measured over 2 meters long. That is more than 6.5 feet.
Just think about that for a second. That is taller than your average NBA player. And that is not the whole animal. That is not even the whole skull.
That is just the back part of the lower jaw. If you have a jawbone that big, you are attached to a skull that is the size of a But here is where the story gets even more incredible. This discovery didn't happen in a vacuum. A few years earlier, in 2000...
At the time, scientists were baffled. It was huge, it looked like an ichthyosaur bone, but it was just too big. Some people thought maybe it was a fluke.
Now look at that snout. That is where Ruby Reynolds' discovery fits in. The bone they found on the beach sits right at the back of the lower jaw.
We now had 2 of them. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a one-off giant. This was a...
The scientific community was electrified. They officially named it Ichthyotitan Severnensis, giving it a title that...
By comparing these massive jaw fragments with more complete skeletons of smaller ichthyosaurs like Shonosaurus,
These bones suggest an animal that could grow to 25 meters, or around 82 feet in length. It is dangerously close to the size of the largest blue whale ever recorded.
The location of the find tells us another crucial part of the story. The rocks these bones were found in
Holding that piece of bone is like holding the final page of a lost book. It tells us that monsters were real. They were right here under our feet.
But bones can only tell us so much. To really understand what it was like to stand in the shadow of an Ichthyotitan.
All right, enough talk. Science is great, but I want to see this thing breathing. I want to see it swimming. So, we are firing up the time engines. We are setting the dial back 202 million years. Get your gear on. 3, 2, 1, splashdown.
We are in the Rhaetian seas now. This is the very end of the Triassic. Look around you. The world looks completely different.
There are no ice caps at the poles. The supercontinent Pangaea.
It is a tropical paradise, but do not let that fool you. This is the most dangerous aquarium in history.
Look right there, floating past the camera lens. That is an ammonite. Look at the spiral shell on that beauty. It is like a living submarine.
They are everywhere. They are the popcorn of the sea, the bottom of the food chain. And see those silver flashes?
And over there, see those dark shapes? Those are Hybotis sharks. They have got nasty spines on their dorsal fins.
They are constantly checking their six. They know they are not the bosses of this neighborhood. That behavior tells me everything.
I am going to lower my voice now. We are dropping deeper. We are entering the twilight zone of this ancient ocean. This is where the visibility drops, and your imagination starts to play tricks on you.
Every drifting piece of seaweed looks like a tentacle. These predators have eyes adapted for low light. They can see us long before we can see them.
We need to stay perfectly still. Keep the submersible lights dim.
Ping, ping, ping. Wait. Did you hear that? The rhythm changed. Something massive is displacing the water down below.
Holy mother of nature, look at that. Do you see it? It is emerging from the gloom. It is absolute.
It is like a living wall of muscle gliding through the water.
Look at the size of her. She must be 25 meters long if she is an inch.
Let's break down exactly what we are looking at here. Imagine a standard American yellow school bus. If you took the largest T-Rex that ever walked on land and threw her in the water next to this beast, the T-Rex would look like a bathtub toy.
Look at the shape of her body. She isn't built like the later Ichthyosaurs. No, she is built like a heavy cruise. See those paddles? Her front flippers are enormous. And unlike a whale that moves its tail up and down,
Now, look at that snout. That is where Ruby Reynolds' discovery fits in.
But here is the most mind-blowing part. When scientists analyzed the internal structure of the bones, they found something that defies logic.
Usually, growth marks get closer together. But the bones of the Ichthyotitan show no sign of slowing down.
do you understand what that means? It means we might not have even found the biggest ones yet. This one here could just be a teenager or a young adult.
The ocean provides buoyancy that supports massive size. In this Triassic ocean, the ceiling for biological size was shattered.
She is looking right at us. She is processing what we are. We are not food. We are...
It is a perfect example of convergent evolution. She looks like a fish, swims like a shark, but inside, she...
And right now, she looks hungry. She is picking up speed. I think she spotted something. Hang on, we are going to follow her.
Hold on tight. We are dropping altitude fast. She is diving. Look at the angle of that descent. We are trying to keep up with her.
Look at the sonar display. There is a cluster of signals ahead. Red dots everywhere. That is a school of...
These are not small animals. They are predatory marine reptiles themselves. But right now, they are not hunters. They are lunch. For a long time, scientists debated what these giant ichthyosaurs actually ate. Watch closely. This confirms the terrifying theory. The Ichthyotitan is a macro predator. She eats big game. Here it comes. Watch the acceleration. She just kicked that massive tail fluke, and the water around her practically boiled. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? The impact. She didn't just bite it, she slammed into it like a runaway train.
The Ichthyotitan's jaw mechanism is fascinating. As she opens those 2-meter-long jaws, it creates a massive...
We are caught in the turbulence. Hang on! The water displacement from the struggle is tossing us around like a leaf in a storm.
Seeing this behavior changes everything. The Ichthyotitan proves that nature didn't wait. Nature invented the giant sea monster blueprint almost immediately.
She is the apex of apexes. Nothing in this ocean can touch her. Okay, she has...
Remember, for all her fish-like adaptations, she is still air-breathing. Let's follow her up slowly.
There she blows! Look at that plume of mist shooting into the air! We have surfaced right alongside her.
For decades, the title of largest marine reptile was held by her cousin, Prehistoric Severnensis.
Mate, in terms of biological mass, that extra length adds tons of weight. It is the difference between a heavy truck and a tank.
How does a reptile power a body this size?
Scientists believe these giants were gigantotherms.
She is basically a living, swimming nuclear reactor. She maintains a high body temperature just by existing.
Look at the Prehistoric sticking out.
Cricky, can you smell that? The wind just shifted. It smells like rotting fish and stale air. That is the breath of a prehistoric monster.
Up close, you can see her skin isn't covered in big, clunky scales. But look there, on her flank. See those scars?
Those scars tell a story of survival. She is a warrior. But as I look at this
Now, look at that snout. That is where Ruby Reynolds' discovery fits in. The bone they found on the beach sits right at the back of the lower jaw.
This event is known as the Triassic-Jurassic extinction, driven by the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province.
The carbon dioxide dissolved into the oceans, turning the water acidic. This is the nightmare scenario for marine life.
The Ichthyotitan was a victim of its own success. As the waters turned sour and the prey the fossil record shows us the tragedy clearly. After the Triassic-Jurassic boundary, the giant the ocean became a graveyard of giants. Their bones sank to the bottom, eventually fossilizing into the fragments.
So where does that leave us? It leaves us with a humble realization. For over a century, we looked at the blue whale and said, that is it. That is the limit.
The Ichthyotitan Severnensis is proof that we are still just scratching the surface of our own planet's history.
It tells us that the Earth was once a land of giants.
It makes you wonder what else is waiting to be found in the cliffs or buried under the ice.
There could be something even bigger down there. That is the magic of paleontology.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into the danger zone, then you are in the right place. We are building the ultimate time machine here at Prehistoric Planet 3D.
But I need your help to decide where we go next. Do you want us to hunt the Megalodon? Do you want to face down the Spinosaurus? Let me know in the comments below.
And do me a favor, if you want to keep these adventures going, reach out and smash that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you do not miss the launch of our next expedition.
This has been a wild ride. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep exploring, and stay wild. I am signing off. Let's go home.